Hello and welcome to another video. This is the latest purchase. This is quite an old favourite. It's been quite around for a few years. It is an ever-ready battery portable Model K. The Model K was originally out in July 1949. Dealt with on trader sheet 1098, which does the Model T, which is a desk variety, and the Model K, which is portable. Quite big, quite heavy. Nice big speaker behind there, nice grille. It is missing a speaker surround. Pickup handle, medium wave, off and long wave. Volume control and tuning, so very basic. There's no tones or anything else like that. It's grill on the back. It's got a frame antenna with inside it, and it's also got two antenna points here for an external antenna, so one could get connected to ground and one connected to a long wire, and that goes to a loop antenna or a pickup loop inside here, which is then transferred to the main frame antenna. It was a local find for the princely sum of about £10, so it's not going to break the bank. And let's get it stripped down and start looking at it. Okay, this is the Model K stripped out of its case. I have removed the top cover, and this is the back plate or the back case. The loop antenna needs resticking on the back here. It's also had a little bit of damage, and one of the fastenings has pulled out. I do have the fastening, so I'll have to reinforce the fibre board here before that can get fitted back. There's a couple of felt pads and two locating washers there, and the idea is these push out into the outer case. A quick look at the case itself. There's a few slots, one there, and there that the locating points go into. Back to the radio, quite a large speaker, fibre board. This is the frame antenna at the back, and the whole back of it. That's basically the medium wave, I do believe. It could be a long wave, but I think it's a medium wave coil. There's another coil there which is shorted out by the turns, by the switch. In fact, let's just check. Okay, just done a quick check with a multimeter. This coil is shorted out when it's switched to medium wave, so that is a medium wave frame coil, and it's extended to long wave with the contacts across this coil being opened. Quite basic. There's several turns on the thread, two little holes in the top which come out to the brown and green wires on here. IF cans, output transformer, a quick meter of that one showing that the primary is still okay. Tuning caps. I've taken the valves out so I don't damage them when messing, and what I'm going to have to do now is unsolder and the speaker connections from here, and then remove the speaker to allow me to actually work in this little area. For anybody that's considering valve radio restoration, I would strongly recommend the battery portables to start off with. 90 volt HTs, 1.5 volt heaters. They all follow a very standard circuit. I've copied it here to make it a bit larger. Hopefully that can be seen okay. Pointy stick. This is V1 DK91 in this instance. There are some changes to this because of it's an earlier model. The screen goes straight to the HT, so there's no R1 and C1. V4 is a DL92, that's right, yeah, DL92 on this one. And in fact these valves have been replaced with IT4 and IS5. So there was a period, I do believe, according to one of the sites, where valves were a bit short in the UK, so American valves were actually used. But it's a very similar circuit to all the battery valves that you'll see in the 1950s area. Okay, I've marked on the circuit here the ones I'm going to replace. C4, which is the AGC, C8, C13, which are screen decouplers, C15, which is a tone correction cap across the primary, that's a waxy, C12, which is from the volume control to V3 grid, that's a waxy, the main smoothing cap there, 8 microfarad, that's going to get restuffed into the original packaging, basically because it's that white one there, and the cap that's going in its place is nothing like the size. It is in fact that size, so that's going to get restuffed into the plastic one just to make it look a little bit better than a tiny electrolytic. But most of the C13, C8, C4 are in fact brown Hunt's capacitors, one there, one there, one underneath there. There's a waxy, I don't know if you can see that up there, and the tone correction cap is a waxy, which is there. If that one went leaky short, then it's going across the primary of the transformer. The rest of them, that's a silver mica, silver mica there, silver mica there. Those are generally not going to cause any issues. The one I'm going to check, remove and check, see if it is the V3 from the anode to V4 grid is a coupling cap, AF coupling cap. Seems to be a small disc type cap here, down inside there. So that's going to get checked. I will see if that's okay. If it is okay, I'll leave it. It's usually not that type, and usually not a problem. But I've got another one in case it is. I've got as I say, a small yellow cap I can put in its place. Right, onward and upward. Okay, this one's taken me a bit longer than I expected. I've had a few issues, as well as the, where am I? There you go. The red volume capacitors I've replaced, including C14. The C14 itself was fine, but I've actually swapped it because R10, R11, R12, 7, 9, 5 and 2, which are all high value resistors, had all gone well outside the 20% tolerance. So all those resistors got replaced, and R10, R11 and C14 were all tagged together, so it was easier to replace C14 with those two resistors. Other issues I've had is one of the vanes on the oscillator coil was shorting, so a bit of careful bending, I can't say the other word, judicious, that's right, and it seems to be okay. I've put a temporary battery supply on it, a little 1.5 volt a D-cell, is it a D-cell? A D-cell 1.5 volt battery and 10 9-volters to give me the 90 volts. We have a microphonic valve. Don't know if you heard that little tidding then coming up. But that valve is microphonic, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. So I'm going to have to raid my stock, see if I've got another one of those valves, which is a 1S5 that's actually fitted which is the same as a DAF91. So with those problems now solved, it needs switch cleaner and it needs some alignment and various bits and pieces yet, but
we can compare ourselves to that we, our fellows, may not be so rational.
You have the right to your own opinions, but not the right to your own.
Sound Radio Entertainment.
So I'll keep on moving so I'm not getting any copyright issues.
What you write about in the book.
Yeah, that's all.
Going loans with Experian first could get you a lot.
Adverts. So it works. I think at the moment, long wave. That's RTE on 252 kilocycles. But at the moment, radio 4 is off the air. So some problems on the radio 4 transmitters at the moment. But as I say, that's got to get sorted out, and an alignment of the radio. But that's basically back it. It's now components swapped. Whoops, I shall have to come up with a better battery system. That's just one I've taken out of another radio. So back on to medium wave.
Advancing their own self-serving or uplifting narratives, we say, well, wait.
443.
Order. Oh, dekh kya rahe ho? Jaldi se.
To support a culture.
Yeah, it's a good point though, Andy. I'd not written.
Now that's handy.
Right, switch it off. I've cleaned up this. I've got to put the plastic back in. The little rivets that are in the ends of the handles here, I've repaired them. They were quite loose and I didn't want them to actually pop out, because that would mean to say the radio would drop away. It's about time it went back together. I shall stick that back on and put it back in its case for a little while, and the next chance to do an alignment. So there we go, another one on its way to being completed. It's a few scratch marks on the dial there, but it will stay as it is. As I say, the pile of resistors and caps that I've swapped are there. Caps and resistors. So, fun and games. Yes, I'd still recommend, if anybody's getting into it, starting off with battery radios, but be prepared for component changes. They are 70 years old now, going on for that type of age, and once I remove the capacitors that stop some of the leakage, then it's easier to find the values of the resistors. That's how I work it anyhow. Right, thanks for watching. Catch you again.